What's his name? Oh, hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome to GQUAT Traditions, where good friends become family and family is everything. 1 minute, please, because I forgot to close the door. And if the doorbell rings, excuse me, you guys, if the doorbell rings, the dogs will start barking and making ungodly noises. So I would like to thank Unbiased LLC for being the early bird. Maria Graham, you're always early. Thank you for coming. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Hopefully, somebody will come in besides the ones that are here because they think I'm on vacation. I'm not on vacation. I missed you guys. So I came on and I will be on for an hour. What week is this? Yeah, before the chat comes on. So, how have you guys been doing this week? I've been catching you in some of the chats, some of the lives, and I saw Maria Graham. I saw your dinner that Mike cooked. I saw that on Facebook. It looked so yummy. It didn't say what you had cooked though. Rudy, my friend Rudy, thank you for coming. Maria Graham, thank you. Joanne just came in the room just a minute before you did. Yankee sister, hola, hola. And she was talking about this scarf because I got it last year as a gift for my birthday. No, I didn't come. I came for Auntie Joanne's birthday last year. So it must have been the year before. My same daughter, niece, and my daughter came. And Joanne was trying to help me remember because she was saying that they went to Chico's and got them. And a little story, but thank you. I have a lot of scarves and I don't usually wear them because I need my arms free. Casing's 55. Thank you for coming and welcome. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you, moderators. I could not do what I do without you. I don't see a lot of the things in the chat. And then sometimes later on, Maria Graham or Yankee Sister will say, did you see this or did you see that? I really didn't. And especially when I'm showing how to do different things. So I miss a lot of the chit chat that's going on. Some of it is really, really funny. You guys are really funny. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate the people in the bushes because not today, but others, Cassandra, South Fulton Garden. Yes, you did get what I was supposed to get to you. Thank you for coming. And I really loved your little note that you sent on the Gmail. And you told me a little about yourself and what you do. That was touching. That was very, very touching. You confessed your age, all that, the information that you don't tell everybody. So I know that we're family. Oh, Rudy says his brother will turn 30 in March. Happy birthday to your brother, Rudy. And I know that Rudy GQUAT record. No, Rudy, guess what? I'm more than 2 times 34. You know how old I am? I am 75 years old. Like if you get 1 quarter and somebody gives you another quarter, that's 50 cents. Then they give you another quarter, you're almost to $1. So almost to 100. Hello, G Mama Grows Hard in the garden. How are you doing? I appreciate you and everything that you do, all of the little links that you drop and everything. Oh, and I want to thank each and every one of you who helped me celebrate my 75th birthday and my month anniversary, my 1 year of going live on YouTube, because I did that when I got 1,000 subscribers. All that happened at one time. My birthday, I got 1,000 subscribers, so I said I would go live for my birthday the first time. And then after that was on Nikki's channel, The Everyday Life of an OCD-ish Chick. And then I went live on African Dreaming. Then, and it was like within a 2-week time, then I opened this channel. Oh, guess what? I don't know if you can see it. That must have been an expensive balloon because the other ones are falling down already. Do you see this one? It still says happy birthday. I'm still up in Uncle Roscoe's studio. Hey, Sissie Joanne Stevens. She says hello to everybody on the live. And guess what, you guys? I'm out in Arizona, zone 9B, and I'm actually at Auntie Joanne Stevens' house. We were working on some projects today that I'll show you, and they're very, very interesting. Interesting. So I was thanking everybody. I want to thank those of you who are channel members, patrons. It's $1.99 a month to join you guys, and it helps me improve my technology. I managed to scrape together a living, on my retirement and survive and do a few things for people and family and friends. But the little money that I have extra, I use it for technology. Since Uncle Roscoe is downstairs, I will show you something that I made for him this morning. Oh, well, I can't keep a secret. And I will show you what I was working on. So, ta-da! This used to be my favorite pillow. I use this pillow every day, even when I was at my house. At my house, because it goes around my neck. I don't get a stiff neck. I travel with it. I brought it on the plane. I sewed these on myself because that's what I tie it around my neck with when I'm flying. And of course, I'm flying from here in Arizona back to Connecticut when I finish. But I had an old pillow that is called a dog bone pillow. It wouldn't be me if I didn't drop something. And it looks like a dog bone. So, what it was, like they say, what had happened was this thing I left here, and this must be 25 years old. This thing is older than some of you in the chat. And I'll show you what I'm doing. And it looked like this. But it smells so good because my sister washed it for me in the year that I was gone away from here. So my intention was to make a cover. It's called a dog bone pillow. Unbiased LLC made some. She'll show you on her channel. I will also everybody does it a different way. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. You do it however you like. So I will show you how I did mine. So I saw this cute, I love elephants too, and I love purple. So I found this fabric. And then Unbiased LLC said she saw the same fabric. I don't know if she got it, but it was so, 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 so cute. So I bought it to cover my little pillow, this one. So I made the cover and I'll stuff it back inside. But as life happens, I'm going to stuff it while you guys are watching. And thank you for the thumbs up. I show that there are 12 of you in the chat. I appreciate that on a Saturday afternoon when you didn't know whether I'd be here or not. So, ouch, ow. I have a fingernail that I split right down the middle, and I have a Band-Aid on it, but I'm fighting with this pillow to go inside so that I can show you, because I'm also making one for Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe. He was telling me today, I had forgotten that he had his neck operated on some years ago. And I was actually there because we all lived in California. But I wanted to show you something particular about this pillow. Like, I see other people make them and they have a strap so that it'll go on the back of the chair. But I am as some of you know, a member of 6 living generations. So some of the younger generations, where will 7 be? I'm not sure, Rudy. I used to live in 7B though. I've lived in lots of places, Rudy. I live now in Connecticut 6B. Then I grew up there. Then from there, I moved to the Washington, D.C. area. They call it DMV now. And that's 7B. Then my husband and I bought a house while we still had that one in North Carolina, a homestead. It was on 4 acres, and then we leased 21 more acres. So that was like a 25-acre total. Then from there on, I went to California. That was 10B. Woo! That was a big jump. That was nice and warm. Then I went from 10B back to Connecticut 6B. Then I went to 7B, the North Carolina homestead that was still there. The family still owned it. Sweet Thumb, hello, and thank you for coming. And I now live in Connecticut 6B, but I take staycations. Sometimes I come out here and stay 3 months. Sometimes I come for a month. This time I'll be for a month. But going back to what I was telling you about these pillows, this pillow last week when I was demonstrating it just to keep it from falling, I put it in back of me on the chair. Oh my goodness, was that comfortable? It works as lumbar support because there's no pressure on your spine right here, and it hugs your sides where it hurts. And Erica, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. And I will be doing, I don't know what I'll be doing over the Christmas holidays, but for sure I will be doing some kind of a giveaway, a cash chat. For sure I will be giving a Christmas gift. It will be a collaborative gift. So you guys listen up, even if you're on other channels. I know you have multiple devices. You need to listen up because I will be giving away some wonderful, wonderful gifts on this channel over the holidays. People are speaking to Sweet Thumb. Sweet Thumb, thank you for welcome and welcome. But this is what I wanted to make sure that you guys know about me as a great great grandmother. I have a great great grandson who's 3. Some people have other children that are younger. So you see this loop, but you don't know what this loop is actually for. These short loops on the pillow, this is so that when it's in back of you, if you're on an airplane or up against a chair or something like this, you can reach up and adjust them with this strap. But what you may not understand and understand the security, I make sure that this is only as big as my wrist. Why? I can carry it on a plane like this. And the other thing, a baby's head cannot fit in it. You don't want to make these anything in a household with children, small children, or pets. Auntie Joanne and I tested this one today to see if they fit over any of our pets' heads because I don't know, kids, animals, they just get into things they are not supposed to get into. So I make sure that my straps are a little bit shorter. So I'm going to show you how to make this the way that I do it. It's kind of simple the way that I do it. It's only 3 seams, and 3 pieces of fabric plus the straps. I do the straps ahead of time. Cassandra's South Fulton Garden, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So without further ado, because I want to get off, I want to stand for an hour. I want to show you some show and tell. And these are a couple of scrubbies. They were that Auntie Joanne said that pillow was so comfortable. Oh, and guess what happened? I ordered the polyfill, the filling from Amazon because there's a center like 5 minutes from here. They sent this package. I wish you could see it. It was compressed. Didn't tell you that it was compressed when you order it. And it was expensive. It was like $15 for 8 ounces. So you can't really judge that, looking at it. You don't know how much is in the big box that you ever bought from Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby, any of those stores, Walmart. So this thing came. It was, I think I put the bags in the trash. You wouldn't believe these. Auntie Joanne and I had to pull them apart, reinflate them, and then it wasn't even enough. Wasn't even enough. All of it went in this one pillow. So this one I'm giving to Uncle Roscoe for his pillow. He tested it and it's just enough. I think it's still filling up. And by the time Auntie Joanne washes it and puts it in that strong dryer that goes around and around in the washer, I'm sure it will fluff back up. Hello, Mike's Chaotic Gardening, and thank you for coming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this one is finished. It's ready. And the only reason it's up here on the second floor where I am, Bouge, prepper mi sobrina. Veinte, veinte, siéntate. Come on in, sit yourself down, Bouge. I saw you running this morning. I was so busy. I didn't have a chance to say hello, but I will get back. Kay Renee's Garden. Hello, and thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So these little scrubbies will be going home with me to Connecticut. And Auntie Joanne, for those of you who have not seen her, she can come up, she can go live anytime she wants to. I sent her the link and she can come sit in this room right beside me, like Erica and Billy do on Erica My Fly Family. They just sit next to each other. But these I will be taking home to scrub things with. And what else I've received since last Saturday when I saw you. Hello, a resilient dad. Thank you. And I appreciate you. Auntie Joanna and I were talking because somebody on Facebook was talking about their Cane Corso Italian Mastiffs. Well, I used to breed and show them. And one of my cousins in Pennsylvania, the last name is Thomas, said that his daughter was having her first litter of Cane Corso puppies. Life has just strange turns. And when you do good things and put good things in the world, they come back to you some kind of way. So I was telling my cousin about the dogs that I used to have, and I used to raise them in the DMV and in Connecticut. And the cousin said about their dog, and it just happened that the person they bought their dog from was one of my classic bloodlines from years ago, and she still has her dog and she was so proud of it. But that was also Auntie Joanne's dog, my first litter ever. Auntie Joanne got, and Uncle Roscoe got one of the puppies, and we bred her one time. Her father was a champion, and Bella had two puppies. One went to San Francisco. This great big gorgeous dog named Hammer, a police officer out there bought this dog. He had the biggest head, the biggest body, and someone got the other female, and it was Xena. And Xena had a puppy, and this was Auntie Joanne's grand dog, Miss Shirley OG, the OG gardener from Ohio. Speaking of Ohio, where the dogs we were talking about are from, Pennsylvania and Ohio. I got my first Christmas card, you guys. Christmas is that place in our hearts that still believe in magic, and I get it. Everybody doesn't celebrate Christmas. Everybody doesn't celebrate holidays. That's okay. Do whatever you do. We are all one family. Why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. Do what you do. Just come to the table with love in your heart, and that's all you have to do. And so this one is from my niece daughter. She flew out here for my birthday and did a whole bunch. We cooked, we laughed. There's some quick videos out there. Sonia Sigler, hello, and thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy being here with the family, Sonia Sigler. And the family, it just consists of everybody who comes by. A friend of Uncle Roscoe's stopped by. I had not seen him like in 35 years. They used to go to the gym and they grew up together. Now, when I do my giveaway, some of the things that I'm telling you now that seem like chit chat may come back up in the questions that I'm going to ask in order to win, or it may be a number. I haven't decided. I have in one of the videos, one of the shorts, there is an antique treadle sewing machine that was given to Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe for me because I'm the one in the family who sews. Well, this machine, we were trying to figure out how old it was because with a treadle, that was before electricity was invented, you guys, and before they started using them for sewing machines. So listen up to these questions because you'll be hearing them again. But the sewing machine was given to Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe. Hello, hola, Albert Miranda, hola. And this book is written by the guy's sister. Her name is Annie Clayton. Well, the treadle sewing machine that I have belonged to their grandmother. And this is an interesting book. It's called Broken Wings, Resilient Dad. All of you who come from families who or know someone who have come. I'm not saying you came from a family. I'm getting my words ahead of themselves. I know that you counsel middle school kids. I know that some of you are grandparents yourself. Some of you I know don't have families. So I'll just read to you the back of this book, which is so interesting. And we have Resilient Dad says a tailor. Wow. Tailors, I know they know about sewing machines because tailors made all the money. Women sewing made very, very little. A resilient book. Yes, this is. So this book is called Broken Wings. And if I could just read to you what the back of it says, and she says she changed the names to protect the guilty. It says, written as an appeal for the necessity of motherly love, Broken Wings details the heartrending experience of a young Black girl named Ebony who grew up in the projects near Los Angeles. Uncle Roscoe is from Los Angeles. He's from Watts specifically. I don't know if any of you have seen Watts Towers, but he grew up very near there. And Watts Towers is an art installation that's made out of old broken metal. And it's this huge, huge erector set of art. So, anyway, while Ebony was as benevolent, naive, and curious about life as any child growing up in the projects, her character and faith were often tested. Too often, Ebony was ignored, badgered, and told that she was worthless. Ebony's mother, known from child to Ebony as Camille, she didn't know that was her mother, rather than mother, is a bitter, hurtful, narrow minded woman who suffered abuse as a child as well. Consequently, as an adult, Camille, Ebony's mother, gets pregnant by several different men, but has difficulty with the role of a mother. Ebony, the eldest, has two sisters and two brothers, most of whom arrived unexpectedly before their supposed father, Thompson, joined their household. Through high school and into adulthood, Ebony continues to suffer daily from low self esteem and a lack of family bonding, which prevents her from going to college. Even at Camille's death, Ebony has difficulty forgiving and grieving. As a result, cancer at age 48, she recognizes what she must do in order for God that she believes in, you guys don't have to forgive and heal her. Through Broken Wings, the therapeutic autobiographical account, Annie Clayton reveals what she has learned about finally stopping the past violence and hate. I don't know if this reaches or touches anybody, but this is a wonderful book, a wonderful story of healing, and we are a part of it. Why? Because their grandmother's sewing machine is sitting right downstairs in the garage right now, right next to the garage. So that is an interesting story I wanted to share with you. Broken Wings. I have no interest and I don't make any money from talking about the books. I talk about books because when I'm home, I collect books. I have a few books that mean a lot to me, and many of whom are about Black lives or by Black authors. Now, I have a question to ask you. Let's see, it's 4:25, and I might just do we'll see. We'll see. We'll follow it. So, Auntie Joanne printed out, we were trying to find out the age of the sewing machine. Sonia Sigler says, thank you for sharing. Yankee, Yankee. So, what is machine dating to you guys? Has anybody ever dated by um, use an app for dating or anything like that? Getting so excited reading that. I'm sweating. And I really only put on the scarf just so that I could try to look nice for you guys because I was working. I was sewing, whoops, and gardening today. So, what is machine dating? Yankee Sister says that is a wonderful story. This is a true story, you guys. This is true. And my sewing machine, oh, we were going through the book. That's how the book came up because I named all the sewing machines after somebody that it came from or where we got it. Auntie Joanne's little specialty featherweight sitting right here is named Carolina. Why? Because she was purchased in Carolina. So I asked Auntie Joanne for this book so that I could think of a name, and we will be naming the treadle that's down there. I'm not taking her back to Connecticut. She will be here. She will be here. Has any of you ever met anyone on a date or going out on a date by a machine app? If you have, put a 5. Put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat if you have ever dated by machine or use any electronic means of dating or meeting someone. Hello, Mrs. Harleywood Garden. Thank you for coming. Well, I want to read you something interesting and you guys will smile at it. So, this is a printout. The date of this printout is 2009. Do you see that? Okay. So, G Mama Grows, a few people have dated. So, what we're talking about here is where'd my tissue go? Hold on 1 second. So, we're Albert Miranda. He's dated, machine dating. Well, guess what? I wasn't paying attention when Auntie Joanne gave me this printout. I'm usually doing 50,000 things at one time. So we were trying to find out how old our machine is. One of our sewing machines that's downstairs in the garage. It's a big garage, you guys. Really, really big. And so we're talking about machine dating. Auntie Joanne wrote down the serial number of this old treadle machine. Absolutely never. Well, maybe you need to get in the mix, Yankee Sister Homestead, and let me know how it works out for you. So we have the serial number of this machine, and there's something called ISMCS, and you go on there, and it's a Singer sewing machine, and you go on there and you look up the serial number to find out how old your machine is. That's how I know how old Carolina is. That's Auntie Joanne's pretty machine sitting right beside me. My machine's at home. This is how you find out. And since we had the serial number, it's written up here. You see it's 11035-022. So it says, as a point of interest, this model for which Singer obtained a patent, and it has a patent number, bears a serial number 22, which dates it to 1850. This machine was born in 1850. Do you know what that means? That was before the Civil War. The Civil War was 1863. This is an old machine. I don't know who. Oh, I do know. I do know. These friends of Roscoe's were black. They live in Los Angeles. I don't know how their grandmother got it, but their grandmother obviously lived during or after that time. And it says Singer was granted his patent on August 12, 1851. From 1850 to 1858, Singer produced only heavy manufacturing sewing machines. The first machine for family use, Singer's new family sewing machine, that's what this was with the treadle, was manufactured from 1858 to 1861. The second style family machine, and then it goes into this. And so when you look at the numbers down here, and it's 11035,022, it shows that that machine was produced somewhere around 1864, which would have been 1 year after the Emancipation Proclamation, which was, by the way, for those of you interested in history, January 1st, 1863. However, the slaves in Texas were not free until Juneteenth of 1865, because it took that long for the horses and the people to get there and for the information to catch up. Legacy of wealth for the Singer family. Yep, because they're still getting my money. Still getting my money. So, you guys, is this trivia? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's true history. It's a part of my life. And you will be hearing about some of it in the future. In the future. Now, speaking of trivia, we're going to get to something really interesting. I find this interesting. So, this is the manual that I printed out, I guess. Oh, when I got this machine, Carolina. At first, I was going to name her Shirley. Don't ask me why. Maybe because the lady that was in the store, maybe her name was Shirley. So I wrote down the serial number for Carolina, and I also put down Singer Featherweight 221, owner Joanne Stevens, Arizona, and the serial number. This is when I first started getting interested in the history of the machines. Until then, I was just busy collecting them. And then I had Bessie, and the owner of Bessie was Ellen Pankey. And at the time, I put Raleigh, North Carolina. That's not where I lived, but that was close enough. That was close enough. Nobody had to know to come to my place. But what I wanted to say about this machine is that that's how we got in touch with all of the information for her. But what I also wanted to show you, you guys who print out your own manuals, do you see this one? The actual book that comes in the machine is about this big. So when you print it out your own self, you can get pages that you can read without your glasses. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that about sewing machines. You may never want to sew. I know Mike's chaotic gardening grew up grew up with a treadle machine in the family. But this just goes to show you that your sewing machine, old stuff in the house that you guys, oh, that old rusty thing, oh, grandma had that, I don't want it. That's actually a part of history. The quilts that they made with that, the old clothes that they took, the old dresses from your sisters and whatnot, the aprons, when the slaves had clothes back then, everything, they didn't change the dresses every day. They kept an apron on to keep the dresses clean, because I remember going down south when my paternal grandmother lived down there. The washing machine was out in the yard. I'm not even sure how they got electricity. I think it might have been on a pole. They had an outside bathroom. Oh, I was a whip about it. I was a whip about it. But the worst one was my sister Joanne. Oh, my grandparents had hogs, an old cow, old mules. In fact, my cousin Larry got the worst whooping ever. We were going to the fields to get some watermelon. You know, these giant watermelon like David Corey and all of you guys are growing. And we went to get the watermelon, and my aunts would pick up the watermelon and drop it, and we just eat the heart out of it. Little spoiled brats from Connecticut that came down North Carolina for the summer, and we'd eat the heart out and go to the next one. Well, they used my grandpa's old mule and a tobacco sled. When the sharecroppers or the farmers were picking tobacco, they'd pull the leaves off. The leaves were heavy. Can you imagine carrying tree limbs on your back? Your hands, you can't. So Grandpap had an old mule. So the tobacco sled was empty. And I remember my grandfather driving the mules in the wagon. And if you wanted the mule to go left, you said G. And if you wanted it to go right, you said ha. So we used to get up there on the wagon. Grandpa had an old truck. We used to jump in it and go to town because there was no downtown. But I remember that. So going back to the watermelon, my cousin would we didn't throw the watermelon away. We'd take the rest of it with the seeds, put it in the sled, and then take it back to the house and slop the hogs. You know, you didn't throw anything away. They hauled water by hand, and so the leftover water for the dishwash, for the dishwater, everything, you used to just dump it in the hog trough. In the hog trough. It was a wonderful way to eat watermelon. We didn't know we were spoiled. That's all we ate, the part that didn't have seeds in it. But anyway, my cousin was driving Grandpap's tobacco sled, and he went around the corner too fast, and I fell out and skinned my legs up. And Grandma went and made him go get his own switch and skinned his legs off. Gee, Mama Girl said, "Gee haw, we'd be going in circles." Well, that's enough the country right now. Except I was not the biggest wimp. Auntie Joanne was. She would cry, she would cry, she would cry. She wouldn't sleep in the house. Those, we call those shotgun houses. We go through one room to get to the next room, to get to the next room. And there was a wood stove in the kitchen, which, by the way, was the only source of heat in the house. The rest of keeping warm down south in North Carolina was those old quilts that they made. Mrs. D. Harley would have the same singer in her family. She sews on one from the 1980s. Auntie Joanne and I got one in 1966 as a graduation present from my mom and dad, and we still have them. They're in family, the family house. My mom is still living, and it's up on the third floor of her house. And mommy's house is like the repository. It's like a historical, it's like a museum because it has 9 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. And every time the cousins came from Pennsylvania or North Carolina, they always came to our house. And Daddy always had a big garden. I talk about living in an apartment when we were real young, but even then, Daddy rented space and he rented a garden. And one thing I remember about that is that it didn't have any running water. Just like when you were in the South, you didn't have hoses and drip irrigation, all that stuff. You depended on the whatever you believe in above in the universe to get rain. There was no extra. There was no extra. Auntie Joanne, yep, she ruined the family vacation every time. She would go sleep in the car. She would not sleep in the house. She was not sleeping in. It was not, I agree, it was not the best house in the world, in the neighborhood, even then. And it was pretty rough. My grandparents moved to Connecticut. One of my aunts said that Daddy just showed up. My dad had a painting and trucking business when we were growing up. And he went down there one day with his truck. It was like a dump truck, a flatbed dump truck. And he just told my grandparents, "You're out of here. You're leaving." And my aunt said that he told everybody because my grandparents were the same way. All the aunts and uncles, everybody's children used to come stay with them. Why? Because they help work in the fields. They help with the tobacco. They help with Daddy said he grew pick cotton growing up. But when we used to go down south to visit, I remember my aunts working in tobacco. In tobacco. So now, since we're talking about books, I want to show you a magazine that Auntie Joanne had downstairs. And I happened to look through it while I'm here on my staycation. And thank you for the 21 thumbs up. And I saw some passages that I thought were pertinent to you guys. And we always talk about arts and crafts. And this says art versus craft. What's the difference? What do any of you know? What do you think the difference is between arts and crafts? Most of us do crafts. I call myself an artist. Why? Because other people told me I was. Other people told me with my skill level, I'm a master, master craftsman, craft person. And this book says you're never too old or too young to try. Now, sifting some soil and some of the others are knitting, crocheting. Do you see what I see on this picture? I see a pair of old hands and big fingers. Don't look at my fingers, you all. I was out there trying to plant some food for Auntie Joanne, Uncle Roscoe, and me. So I got the garlic planted, the rosemary. I've got the beds all amended. But that's and oh, a couple more things. But you see old hands and young hands. And that's how Auntie Joanne and I learned how to knit and crochet. We were like 4 years old, and my maternal grandmother lived with us, and we didn't watch TV. We had a TV, but we were only allowed to watch it when you went on the weekends. Yankee Sister says you're an artist when you're a crafter. Exactly correct. It's whatever you think you are and the level of work that you think that you're putting out. Some of you who are making fabric postcards, I want to show you this. This is the size of something, and a lot of people do this. They do little embroidery or needlepoint or something, and they just put it in one of those old wooden embroidery hoops. You used to be able to get them for 10 cents at the 5 and 10. That's what they used to call it. They didn't have a Wally World or anything. They had 5 and dimes. But do you see this? Those same little fabric postcards would fit into one of these, and you could use that as a frame. But definitely an artist. It's whatever you think you are. They say knowing with your hands is something that only you can do, but learn by doing. I have a couple pages that I've already outlined for you. You guys remember that denim apron I made out of that old dress I had? Where is it? Look at this lady in her paint studio with her denim apron on. Why? Because the paints, especially oil paints, won't go through it. So the things that you do every day in your everyday life is really art. I call it functional art. They say art is something that in the old days that you just do has no purpose other than to look at it. No purpose. But now the times have changed and it's functional art because it can be made to do something other than just look pretty. Something else, some of you that like to journal, some of you know that I make journal covers. I've been putting composition books in it, but you can just as easily put a sketch pad in it. And this is called art journaling. You can draw in it, you can write in it. The same story, like you guys are telling me in the chat about your grandmother's sewing machine, or you have a picture of it or something, you can put those in it, and a handwritten journal is still a book. The Bible originally was written in longhand. For those of you who believe in the Bible, it wasn't until the Gutenberg press was invented, and that's why they call it a Gutenberg Bible. It was written longhand before that. Some of you have seen mosaics. Okay. One of the modern ways of making mosaics is to take old dishes, old broken mismatched dishes to to and break them up and put some cement in it. Oh, by the way, I'm laughing, you guys, because the family heritage silver is still downstairs, and I haven't done the video yet cleaning it. Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe and I, or maybe just me, are going to be cleaning the family silver so they can use it every day. Why? Because why save it? Save it for what? We have somebody's grandmother's sewing machine. She's long gone in the promised land. It's sitting in somebody's garage downstairs. I'm talking about it. And she spent, it must have cost her a pretty penny back then. 1864, 1865, to, for to own a machine like that. That is something different. That is something different. Nobody had cars, nobody had driver's license, but she owned this sewing machine in the Los Angeles area, in Watts, in what was considered a poor area. By the way, you guys, the names who are showing up in green are members and have been members for different amount of months. I see Yankee Sister's name showing up in turquoise. I'm not sure what that meant. I want to show you guys something else that we've been doing on the channel to show you that, yes, we're having fun and just chit-chatting, but life matters. Look what these kids are doing. They are simply painting rocks. I will give the camera a chance to catch up with it because we have been painting rocks. Yankee Sister and her grandchildren have a special memorial garden, and they painted rocks for Yankee Sister's husband. They never met their grandpa. He went to heaven before. Yankee Sister says, utilize your heirlooms. You guys are sitting on stuff in your closets, in your house, that has special meaning. They probably don't have meaning to you because you don't know the history, but these things matter. I put a picture today on Facebook. Andale Homestead posted something, and she said, every day, let's take over Facebook and post something beautiful. Well, one day I posted a picture of myself, my son, and grandson. Why? Because they took off 2 days of work last week and drove 6 hours from LA to surprise me for my birthday. And they were doing a selfie with me while somebody else in the family was taking a picture of them doing that. And so going back to Yankee Sister, here on GQUAT Traditionzs, we painted rocks. They can be as pretty or as simple as you want. I think last week I showed a picture of some of the ones I sent to Arizona. They're downstairs. David Corey, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. And belated happy birthday, sir. Your birthday is the same day as somebody who was very special to me in my life, still has a connection. And that's how I remember your birthday, November 18th. So even painting rocks with your kids, and the story about this is about stones, and it's about a museum in, I don't know, some state. And the kids were doing two things. They were collecting sticks, just plain sticks, covering them with yarn, and just leaving them in the woods as something pretty, or using them to make their own paintbrushes. Here each child can place a single small painted stone decorated with hearts or flowers, peace signs, happy faces, and leave it on a bus or a park bench, at the base of a tree, on a playground, and a little free library box. And it's called the Kindness Rocks program. The only thing you can't do is leave a painted rock in a public park. Why? Because when you go to a public park, you're supposed to leave it the way that you found it so that the next person will find it just like you did, pristine. David Corey says the 18th is now a little more special. So we're connected, David. Well, you're all good friends and family is everything. Now, I wanted to show you just a couple more things. This magazine's only so big. And there is an art called shibori. What is shibori? Some of us here call it tie dye. All it is taking, and the word shibori refers to the art of Japanese fabric dyeing. There are a lot of Asian people in San Francisco. I love going to San Francisco and going to the pearl shops there. Oh my goodness, I love pearls by the guy. Wait, and they come unstrung. They just come on a string, 18 inches, and you hold them up to the light, and you can see the nacre and the mother inside, and then you pick the ones you want, whether they're white, pink, whatever. I got Auntie Joanna's set one time. Hers were kind of pink, mine were kind of white. I still have those things somewhere. And the Japanese fabric dyeing is derived from the verb shiboro, meaning to squeeze, press, or wring. So if you look at this, you know what it looks like? Like the indigo and the dyes that they use in Africa centuries, millenniums ago, and only the kings and royalty could wear purple, my favorite color. My favorite color. Now, I have one more thing to show you guys, and this is an art of quilting. Now, this is about Carolyn Muslomi. She is an acquaintance of mine. I don't belong to any of her art groups. She's written several books about quilting, and particularly black quilting. And she says that quilts are more than the sum of their squares. Useful, beautiful, sentimental, and stylish, quilted works offer warmth and comfort and can serve as art forms or historical artifacts. They can hang on museum walls, drape over beds, be cut into clothing, express stories, commemorate events. Flags are made out of what? Cloth. Cloth. Provide a powerful medium for self expression, invite friendship, and encourage creativity. Every country, did you hear me? Every country, every culture has a tradition of quilting. Born of necessity, elevated to an art form. I consider myself an artist. I try to do that. And stitched together with pride, purpose, and often community. Before there were book clubs, there were quilting bees. Like any form of self expression and creativity, quilts are intimately personal. Dr. Carolyn Maslomi has been a quilter for more than 50 years. I haven't been a quilter that long. I've been a quilter for about 25 years because while I have made a quilt or so, I didn't start until I was like 50. I've always known how to sew and crochet and knit, needlepoint. Auntie Joanne does too, but she didn't like getting stuck. Auntie Joanne's high school gown she made herself, and it was made out of a Vogue pattern that had like 30 or 40 pieces in it back then. Back then. And so I wanted to share some of this with you. And before I close the book, I want to show you this because this young lady is finger crocheting. She only has her fingers and some yarn, and that's what she's using. You can finger knit. David Corey, you can make woven baskets. I'm going to show you guys my style of taking clothesline rope and wrapping it with fabric and stitching them together to make baskets and placemats and things of that nature. I It's 4:54 and I know, oh, I'm sorry. I'm telling you what time it is here in Arizona. So it's almost 4:56. It's 6:54 on the East Coast time, and I think Nikki, the Everyday Life of an OCD chick, is going live, along with Bouger Prepper and Hands in the Dirt. David Corey said tie dye. Exactly. Tie dye is the same thing, and people are still doing it. You just tie fabric up, put elastic around it, and you dip it in the dye. Some areas you leave in longer, you saturate it longer. Sometimes you leave it lighter. You can use berries, you can use old rusty nails to tint fabric like unbleached muslin. You can make your own. G Mama Girl said, catch y'all later. See you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We're all going to go over to um, what did I say? The chat in a few minutes. So Bad Body Not So Fit says, "Oh man, you're not so old. I got clothes your age. That's pretty young." Uncle Roscoe will say, "Don't claim that. Don't claim that. Don't claim that." Bad Body like 22. That's one of my favorite numbers. Favorite numbers. So you guys, I'm going to show you the pillows. I started this one and I will show you this week because this one will be finished. Bad boys, David. Um, the I know Uncle Roscoe's down there watching games, and I started making the pillow. This one is going to be for Auntie Joanne and Uncle Roscoe. It's the cute little dog bone fabric, except that it seems so thin. That's why I don't like a lot of fabrics that are made locally. Yes, you do cough in your elbow, not in your hand. You don't spit on your thread anymore either. They used to do that in the old days. But I'm going to back this fabric with some orange to make it heavier, and it matches the orange leather sofa that's downstairs. So I will be working with that. David Corey says, blame my eyes. I don't. Oh, I don't know. Something he retracted, but it was typing and auto. It should say it's not auto check. It's like auto uncheck. You say one thing, and I don't know who programs these things. They put every word in there except that the word any link GQuat we can sync offline more. Oh, a resilient dad. I never got the email with how to reach you. You sent it once and I lost it somehow. But if you can, I'm yes, I will put my banner in show, and my email is ellenpanky@gmail.com. Any of you who just wanted to do a cash app to help the channel to grow, it's $ Ellen Panky 13. And I try to keep it going. When I go back to New Haven, I have arts and craft classes for seniors, for children. By the way, you guys, my own great granddaughter is 20 years old. She's on IG. She has her own little baking and pastry business. My granddaughter works full time. She's a mom. She does braids and locks professionally. She started mine for me because I wasn't paying $1,800 for sister locks. So my granddaughter twisted my hair and got me started. And she used to braid hair. Auntie Joanne's hair locks are down to her waist. But anyway, my granddaughter does that. And you should see she's taking orders for coconut cakes, and she does pineapple upside down cakes. But she also, Francesca, you are a little bit late, but you got to meet me and you will see some of the beautiful work today. The the chat will be available to see later on, and you can hear the talking, but you won't be able to see the written words, but that's okay. You can still hear what everybody's saying. Cheryl Faulkner, thank you, sis. And I heard somebody's hoping you were better. I didn't know anything was wrong, but of course, I have prayers for you and I love you. And I'm sorry I missed you when something was wrong, but just know that I always love you and I always pray for you guys. I always do. Before we sit down and eat as a family, like somebody might be heating up stuff, fixing a plate. Uncle Roscoe's the head of the household. He says grace every night. We say grace before we eat our food. We sit down together. Sometimes we eat breakfast together. Sometimes we eat it at different times, but we bless our food. So, whatever you believe in, the universe, Allah, Michael, Jehovah, God, Jesus, whatever you believe in, just do it with all of your heart and soul. And, in the old days, they didn't need policemen. They didn't need policemen. They had the 10 commandments. I have one commandment, basically: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the golden rule. That's the golden rule, and the world would be a better place. Nobody treat people the way that you want to be treated, and that's what I will say. Does anybody need a special prayer, a special blessing? I will have a moment of silence so that those of you who need some love. Oh, Yankee Sister's been a member for 4 months. Yay! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll be home at our regular meeting place by December 8th. So I'm going to be out here for another week, you guys. So I will be live Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I guess that's December 2nd. Oh my gosh. I will be live at 6 p.m. Saturday. Francesca says she was taught to respect all people that are older than me or in authority. Yes, and I believe that, Francesca. I was raised so that anybody that was, I would say, at least 5, 10 years older than me, we never called them by their first name. Me and my household, it was considered disrespectful to call anybody by their first name. That's why I call myself Auntie Ellen. I'm not old enough to be a lot of people's aunt. I'm not old enough to be Yankee Sister's aunt. We're almost the same size. We're sisters. But it's just a name. It's just a name. I have cousins that were older than me. My favorite aunt, I can't say that because she might see. I have two aunts living, but they're like 8 and 11 years older than me. I never called them by their first name. Some of my other cousins did. I call her Aunt Shanky, Aunt Tiny. I don't do that. That's how I was raised in my house. You guys do what's right for you, but when you come to me, oh my goodness, I just see the door open, you guys. And no, because I'm about to sign off. Come say hello. Some come say hello and hug your big sister, Auntie Joanne.
She's the best. She's the best, you guys.
Thank you. You're the best sister Mommy ever brought.
You gonna make me some more cornbread?
I've been making cornbread every single day. Every single day. Wait, come stand over here so that you see this is her whole body, you guys. This is her whole body. And she's been eating two, 3 cornbreads
every day.
I made oatmeal cookies yesterday with walnuts and craisins in it. And look at this. Look at this. And she eats it. She eats it. So I'm going to let you guys go so that we can love on some of our, we're eating cornbread. My recipe is homemade. I make it from scratch. Yankees, just everybody knows. Okay. She looks as beautiful as I do. Thank you. Thank you. My mother did a good job. She did a good job, her and Daddy. So, you guys, thanks for coming. Ego Amate Mother, if you're on here. Yes, my mother watches the channel whenever she gets it on. Sometimes it's later, but she loves watching, and she loves when you guys say hello to her. She loves it, and she sees you. Ego Amate Mother. Hey, you gonna make that cornbread, Penny. Thank you, you guys. Appreciate you. Love you. Going to eat some cornbread.